What's up, it's Miss B, and today we are starting our Triptychs final drafts. We are working on our beginning, so let's get started. As we've talked about before, Triptychs have 3 parts, and in ours we're going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Let's talk about what's going to be in our beginning. The beginning of your story is when the trouble starts. In my story of when I break my leg, the beginning is when my friends and I were in my living room and decided to go play tag. Now, as we said before, this was just a rough draft. I can see that there are a lot of other things that I can do with this. I didn't use any of the space at the bottom. When I drew myself, it didn't look like I'm having much fun. And in general, all of the details are just kind of blurry. This week, all of us are going to try 2 other compositions of our piece. 3 in total. Now, each of these compositions should be different. We want to see what kinds of things that you can come up with. Not the same thing over and over and over again. It's more like brainstorming than anything else. For example, this is composition number 1, the one we did last week. So congratulations, you already have 1 of 3 done. Now let's look at my other 2. Here's my second composition. In this one, there's way more action, a sense of we're about to go play, more smiles, and more movement. You can also see the foreground with me and my friend right behind me, and the midground/background with the 2 kids in the back. We still have 1 more to do, just to see what we come up with. In this one, I had a little bit less action going on. There are only 3 kids and they're all up in the foreground. I added a sofa, the TV, and a hallway in the background with my mom cooking. I have to decide which one I like best. Or which parts of each one I like best. Well, in my first draft, I came up with what myself was going to look like as a character, with the bigger eyes and the bangs and long hair. In my second draft, I came up with the idea of starting the game of tag inside, and honestly, I love the action and the movement that brings to this piece. And in this last one, I might not like where the kids are, but I love having the couch in the background, and maybe the hallway as well. Now let's start to think about what color palette we're going to use. For me, this story is nostalgic. It's of my past. It makes me feel of times gone by. For me, when I use red tones and shades of brown, it really makes me think of nostalgic or old things, my old house and when I was little. Reds and browns it is. And here it is. Da-da-da-da! All of my hard work of working on all of those different drafts and pulling the parts that I liked from them really paid off. I chose to use most of the composition from the second draft, but I did add in the sofa from the third one, and the hallway, but I got rid of my mom in the kitchen. She wasn't that good of a cook anyways. So there you have it. For the next 3 weeks, we are going to be doing this process for the beginning, the middle, and the end. Let's make sure that you know all of the steps one more time. You need to do 3 compositions of whatever panel you're working on. Remember, your first draft counts as one of the 3, so really you only have to do 2. You need to figure out what mood you're going to have for this piece and what colors you're going to use for it. And of course, you need to make your final draft for this panel. Make sure you keep it for when we put our whole project together at the end. That just about wraps it up. I am so excited for y'all to be working on this. I know it can seem like a lot at first, especially when everything's presented to you at once. But remember, just 1 week at a time and 1 step at a time. You're awesome. You got this. Now if you pop, and remember, have fun and stay curious.